Donald and I were talking about New York in the 70s, and it was a very different place, and we are very grateful for the renaissance that's going on. Every building type has its stories, as John was saying, from structural issues when you go into an office building and strip it down. All of a sudden you find columns that have been enclosed in wood paneling or plaster or terracotta, and you remove all of that and you find water has been eating away from at it for 50 years. And a mighty steel column looks like a potato chip that wasn't in the budget, and you have to deal with those things.
I use this analogy all the time. I equate buildings to cars. So with a car, you have to change the oil, you have to rotate your tires, you have to, do your standard maintenance. And that is very similar with buildings. People don't realize that when they're purchasing an apartment or whatever, but buildings require maintenance as well. Every 20 years you need a new roof, every 50 years you need to repoint. It is a different timeline, and unfortunately, depending on the life of your building, you have certain just as you have to change your tires at 60,000 miles, you need to do certain things at certain times.
What did I jump into here? And I think one of the things that I really took away from my first firm to starting this mechanical department that I run now is really ownership of projects and ownership of the design.
Her tickets to Hamilton and Bruce Springsteen were easier to get than tonight's ticket. Of previous poorly done, poorly patched, insufficient and inadequate repairs that have come back to roost many years later.
I'm just going to talk about some of the moving parts that we have with the maintenance issues and the safety issues with Terra Cotta. When people think of the building department, this is traditionally what they're So that's why we're having trouble with these repair campaigns, because they have very short shelf lives. So what happens is the owner gets a bill, the building is restored, the cracks aren't really dealt with, and then a piece falls off the building.
So now we're going to see where the rubber meets the road. Maintenance is very key in what happens to Terra Cotta and the kinds of things we see. And when you're up on the 12th story and you're doing your close-up inspection and you see that and you can stick your hand in there and you can know it's really alarming. A shed went up the next day and we had to take that piece down. But nobody fixed the underlying issue, and that goes back to what you said. There is steel under there, it's going to keep rusting, it's going to keep expanding, and that is a short-lived repair.
It's not about me.